Hi everyone. In this video, I'm going to show you how to calculate the area of some compound shapes. So I'm going to do just two shapes together in this video, and we're going to do rectangles, triangles, and semicircles. In some of the examples, we're going to be adding the shapes together, and in other examples, we're going to have a shape that's like cut into another shape, which means we're going to have to subtract. So let's just do this. Let's do this first problem first. So this is going to be a rectangle. So I'm going to do my area of my rectangle plus the area of my triangle. And that is the total area of the shape because we literally have a triangle here on the side that we are adding onto the outside of our rectangle. All right, so area of a rectangle is just length times width. So 121.6 times 57.6. So my calculator, 121.6 times 57.6 gives us 7,004.16. And there's no units in this question, just because it was a numeric response. I didn't want to worry about units. If there were units, you'd put your units here, your inches squared, centimeters squared, meters squared, whatever. In this case, though, we have no units, so we're just going to leave it as is. Now, area of a triangle is base times height divided by 2, right? So area of a triangle is base times height divided by 2. That's our formula. So our base is 62.4 times our height is 28.8, and then we divide that by 2. And I can do that in my calculator in one step. 62.4 times 28.8 divided by 2, and that gives us a total of 898.56. So my area total is just going to be these two things added together. So so the answer, if I just hit the ANS, the answer in my calculator just takes the previous number, the 898.56. So I just need to hit plus 7,004.16, and that gives us our answer. 7,902.72. And the way I coded these, I didn't want you guys to worry about rounding, so I said do not round in any step. So that is what you would put into the numeric response, and it will tell you that you did it correctly, which is fantastic. Okay, question 2. Determine the area of this composite figure. Now our strategy for this one's going to be a little bit different. We're going to do the area of our rectangle minus the area of the semicircle. Now, area of a circle we know. The area of a circle formula is pi r squared. That's the area of a circle. So the area of a semicircle, what we're going to do is we're going to take the area of a circle and divide by 2. And I suppose you could make a formula for it. Pi r squared over 2, I suppose. But usually what I would do, I'm just going to, and what I'll show you, I'm just going to find the area of the circle normally using the circle formula, and then I'm just going to divide whatever I get by 2 when we get there. First up, though, let's do the rectangle. So our rectangle, again, is length times width. So 45 times 62. You'll notice I did the numbers in a different order this time because it literally doesn't matter, right? You're just multiplying your two lengths together. Doesn't matter which one you do first or which one you do second. It's still just going to be those two numbers multiplied. So the area of our rectangle is 2790. Now, the area of our full circle is pi r squared. Now, I tell you in the question to use pi equals 3.14. So even if you've got a fancy calculator like this TI calculator I'm emulating for you guys that has a pi button that you could use, don't. For these numeric response, I'd like you to use 3.14. That way we're going to all get the same number with rounding. So the area of my circle is 3.14 times my radius squared. Now, I don't actually know what my radius is, though, do I? I know that 25 is my diameter. So that's my diameter. How do I get my radius? Well, your radius is going to be your diameter divided by 2. So my radius is 25 divided by 2, which is 12.5. I don't need a calculator for it, but if you need to, there's no shame doing 25 divided by 2. So there you go, 12.5. So didn't leave myself enough room in this box. So this is going to be 12.5 squared. So what I do in my calculator, I'm going to do 3.14 times my radius squared. Okay, so I've got a fancy calculator that lets me do this in one step. So I can see that that is the area of my circle is 490.625. Now, if you don't have like a fancy scientific or graphing calculator, you might need to do this in two steps. So what you can do, if you've got a sort of a more basic calculator, you need to make sure you're doing order of operations correctly. And order of operations says you need to do your exponents before you do your division multiplication. So it's really important that you do the squaring first. And on the TI calculator, like the fancy calculator, you can actually, it will do order of operations for you. So the calculator knows to do the squared before it does the multiplication. But if your calculator isn't like a fancy calculator, you might need to hit your squared button first to get 12.5 squared, and then say times 3.14. And either way, you'll get the same answer, 490.625. I would actually recommend that you pause the video at this point with your calculator and try and see which way you need to do it. Because if you're getting the area of the circle wrong, then obviously you're going to get the wrong answer every time. And that's really frustrating because you've done all the math right. It's just your calculator that's not working for you. Okay, so hopefully you paused. You got 490.625. So now we're ready to do the semicircle. So the area of the semicircle, all I'm going to do is divide by 2. So I hit divide by 2 in my calculator, and I get 245 point... Oh, I just realized it says round to the nearest tenth in every step. So if I rounded correctly in this step, it should have just been 0.6 here. Regardless, you're going to get 0.3 here, because rounding doesn't actually matter, because the 0.125 is what you get. So let me show you. If I actually followed the instructions and rounded in the step, 490.6 divided by 2 still gives me 245.3. So regardless, we've got 245.3. And our strategy was that we need to do our rectangle minus our semicircle. So we're going to do area of the rectangle we found was 2790. And then we're going to take away the area of our semicircle. So minus 245.3. And that will give us our area total. So 2790 minus 245.3 gives us 2544.7. Beautiful. So this is one where the semicircle was going into the rectangle. I'm just going to show you guys one more where the semicircle goes outside the rectangle. So our strategy in this case is going to be area of the rectangle plus the area of the semicircle. So area of my rectangle is still length times width. So I guess I'll do 78 times 46.8. 78 times 46.8 is 3650. Okay, so I'm going to need that. Then my area of my circle, I'm going to figure out first, because that is pi r squared. So this is 3.14. Now again, I didn't give you the radius. I'm a jerk like that, eh? So we're going to need to get our radius. We're going to need to get a radius by doing our diameter divided by 2. So 27.6 divided by 2 gives us a radius of 13.8. So this is 3.14 times my radius squared. Now I'm going to show you the sort of regular scientific calculator of doing it. Maybe you don't even have a squared key. Maybe you only have an exponent key. So maybe you have to do 13.8, then hit your exponent button, which could be an x to the y button or a y to the x button, or like this sort of this caret button here. I don't know what you call that symbol. But regardless, you're going to need to square your number, and then you're going to need to multiply by 3.14. And we need to round this to the nearest tenth. Now this is a tricky rounding question. So this is 597.9816. Okay, so 0.98. The 8 means we need to round the 9 up. But rounding the 9 up means it's a 0, which means we need to round the previous digit up to an 8, which means this is 598.0 for the area of our circle. Okay, so then the area of our semicircle is going to be half of that rounded number, right? Because the question says to round to the nearest tenth in every step. So we're going to do 598.0. I mean, the 0.0 doesn't matter, but whatever. You can put it if you like. Divide by 2, and you get 299. I don't know why I changed color there. Whatever. Okay, so 299 is the area of your semicircle. So then our total area, we just subtract. Oh no, we add. Sorry, what am I saying? In this case, we're adding because it's going on the outside. So our area total is going to be the rectangle plus the semicircle in this case. So the area of my rectangle is 3650.4 plus the area of my semicircle is 299. Add those two together, and our area total is 3650.4 plus 299. So that is 3,949.4. All right, hope that helped.